All the water that floods this Yolo bypass comes from the Fremont Weir. So the Fremont Weir is a roughly 2-mile long stretch of levee that's purposefully been degraded to protect outlying communities from flood waters. And what happens is you've got the Sacramento River. As that rises, it comes to kind of a dangerous stage. It'll flow over the Weir and go through the Yolo bypass, staying away from the metropolitan areas. And you can have up to 80–90% of the Sacramento River is actually flowing down the Yolo bypass during those times. And that's good from a flood protection standpoint, but you have fish like salmon and steelhead and sturgeon that are migrating up these rivers on their spawning runs, and they think that's the Sacramento River. I mean, it's easy for them to take a left turn and wind up stuck in a place they're really not supposed to be.
Easy. We've got him.
Fish stranding at the Fremont Weir, it's nothing new, and it's something that's been going on since the Weir was built, and it's rather unfortunate. And in the 1960s, they tried to address it with salmon in mind. So they built this really small fish ladder that did a pretty good job at providing passage for salmon, but it didn't work for sturgeon, and it was only 4 foot wide. Remember, this weir is over 2 miles long, so it was a hard thing for fish to find. Today, we've replaced that 4 foot wide fish ladder with a 15 foot wide, 10 foot deep structure that can convey up to 1,000 CFS. So big volumes of water here to get these fish out and provide the attraction flow that they need to find their way to the Sacramento River. So right now, fish can arrive at the weir and they don't rely on that sufficient depth to swim over the top. They could actually swim through this thoroughfare that we built and get them into the river. We finalized construction of the facility in late 2018. And the first overtopping event occurred right away in January of 2019. And we weren't able to operate the gate remotely like we'd originally planned. So we had to physically be on site to open the gate. And when it's overtopping, you just can't do it. So in the time period from the Weir overtopping to where we could actually get out and open the gate and make the project operational, the system essentially reverts back to its baseline pre-project condition. And this fish stranding event, the fish that died, that's been going on since the 1930s. This is not a result of the project. The reality is it worked really well. What we could do is expand its operation, and we're able to do that now with remote operability. So we can open those gates safely during an overtopping event and provide that fish passage and hopefully avoid a situation like that in the future. You can't use traditional video, but we can use sonar imaging like an ultrasound. And we have this as a way of monitoring how are fish using our structure. When we first got this footage, we're gathering around the cubicle, we're watching the computer, waiting to see, just show us some signs of a sturgeon going through this facility. Just show us that this thing is working. And lo and behold, the first sturgeon zips through and we're elated. We get everybody around and we watch that loop over and over and over, and we're jumping for joy, like, we did it. And then there was another fish and another fish and another fish. And all said and done, we had over 70 sturgeon go through in a 10-day period, and it was phenomenal. We were blown away. And that's when it kind of dawned on us all that I think we might have stumbled into something pretty special here. This has big implications for the next projects that are coming down the pike. We have the Big Notch project that's coming up. It's going to be able to take this adult fish passage project, but apply it to conditions that aren't overtopping events. And taking what we've learned from this adult fish passage project and applying it to that bigger project is only going to make it more successful. It's sad to think that in a generation's time, we've taken some of the most plentiful salmon stocks on the West Coast and watched them go to the brink of extinction. Some of these fish are really hanging on by a thread. So projects like the Fremont Weir adult fish passage structure and the Big Notch project are really critical to reversing that trend and bringing these fish back from the brink of extinction.